Hi everyone, my name is Evelyn Baez and I'm a commercial real estate broker here in El Segundo, California, and I specialize in multifamily and 1031 exchanges.
Hi everyone, my name is Sirena Sosa. I'm a commercial broker in California. I specialize in land development sites and warehouses.
Awesome. So let's get started. I'm so happy we had the time to, get together and talk a little bit about our experience in commercial real estate. And not only that, but I'm so excited. I met someone who understands and relates and understands everything that it takes to be a successful entrepreneur in commercial.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Evelyn. And I'm so excited. I've been so excited since I met you.
Oh, thank you. Likewise. And you're originally from where?
I'm originally from Visalia, California. So we're right in Central California, right between LA and San Francisco.
Oh, is that where you grew up as well?
Yes.
Okay.
That is where I grew up.
And you spent half of your time here in Los Angeles?
I spent about a third of my month in Los Angeles, and it just happened randomly, really. But my work has led me to Los Angeles.
Awesome. That reminds me of me. I grew up in Riverside County, and I just moved here about 7 years ago, and ever since then, I'm never looking back.
Wow, really? What brought you to LA?
School.
Wow.
And then I got engaged, and I stayed here.
Wow,
But I love it out here.
Yeah.
So much opportunity in commercial real estate specifically. And I'm just curious to know so let's start from the beginning. Graduating high school, did you ever envision yourself to be in commercial real estate, specifically in land development?
No. So when I was in high school, my dream was to work on sets, and I really wanted to go into film and media. But I grew up really fast, and I had kids really young. So I got my license when I was 20 years old, and I had to figure out very quickly how was I going to be successful and what kind of career would take me somewhere that can bring in stable income.
Awesome. And now what's your plan in the next few years in commercial real estate?
So fast forwarding, we're going into my 10th year in land.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this career. I plan to stay in the land development space. And my plan would be to eventually develop for myself.
Awesome. Well, maybe we can do it together.
Yeah, I know. I know.
So when you started real estate, did you go into land first, or how did you end up in land?
Yeah, so in my region, we're just surrounded by an abundance of land. So when I first started, I wanted to specifically do ag land, which is agriculture land, farms and ranches. So I wanted to do land, and I had a vision to stay in the ag space, and that's transitioned over time to land development.
Awesome. Yeah. For me, commercial real estate wasn't really part of my plan at all. Graduating high school, I also went to school. I wanted to do media, and I realized I wasn't going to make it to Telemundo and Univision, and I needed to start thinking of my career pivot, especially specifically when I was in my last semester of college. I got my real estate license.
Oh, wow.
I went on Google, and I started critically thinking of careers that will change my life, not just my life, but the next generation after me. And I started Googling names, I started Googling schools, and I went to USC's website and I started Googling alumni and digging into their career and what they do for a living. And turns out a lot of these alumni or parents of USC students do development, and they own a lot of apartments in the Los Angeles area. So I said, I'm gonna go into apartment buildings.
Wow, that's such a creative way to go about researching, Evelyn.
Yeah, I just just thought of something, and I just literally started dissecting it and dissecting people, dissecting jobs. And that's how I came across CBRE, Marcus and Millichap, Lionstall, KW Commercial, and I interviewed with them. And I ended up fitting in with Lionstall more. So since then, I've been there. So technically, I've been unemployed for 4 years. That's when I graduated. And I haven't had a job in 4 years.
I heard this saying once that us being self-employed, we wake up every morning unemployed. So we have, technically, so we have to get out there and find our next job.
And do volunteer work I always play around like that at my office with everybody. I tell them, are we ready to put in our volunteer hours for the city of El Segundo and the city of LA? Because we're improving their economy. We're improving their homelessness.
Hey, that's a good one.
So we're volunteering ourselves to improve society pretty much, right?
Yeah, we're working for the community.
We are.
Yeah. So has there been any hurdles for you in commercial real estate?
Well, I only have 4 years in the industry, so all these past 3 years are so fresh. And yes, there have been many hurdles, not just because I'm Latina or women, but I think the first 2 years in real estate, it was really hard financially and staying in the industry. And I think that's a lot of that's something that a lot of agents don't realize. Like, if you want a career out of this in real estate, residential, commercial, you need to really do some sacrifices and stay in the game long term, because I mean, it's rewarding, but it's not rewarding in a short period of time.
Yeah, you have to be in it for the long haul.
Long haul. And you also have to know you have to make calls, you have to do follow-ups. And I mean, those are the only hurdles I've had. Oh, aside from knowing that, okay, so for example, my first year of real estate, I knew that it was going to be hard for me to close deals by myself. So I knew I had to collaborate and partner up with seniors at my office to get these deals done. So that's a hurdle that I had my first 2-3 years. And I'm still continuing to collaborate. But what about you?
So when I first started my career, I faced so many hurdles, especially in my region where I'm located. It's a very archaic region as far as the commercial space. So I faced numerous hurdles, just even trying to build any relationship with other brokers in the land space, and trying to even get a job at any commercial firm. It took me several years to break into the commercial space, and it was tough.
So along the way, like from the first time that you started your real estate career to now, did you have any mentors, or who did you lean on?
Okay, so another hurdle was trying to find the right mentor. And I asked so many different senior brokers to be my mentor, and I was denied. But no, not really. I didn't find my specific, I guess, the right mentor for me and my specialty until about my 8th year.
I can relate on that too. Like for me, along like these past 4 or 5 years that I've been trying to break foot into real estate, I've had people not want to mentor me, or I've had people reject me and say, hey, you're not in my territory, I can't help you, or you're focused in this side of LA, that's not mine. And truthfully, that adds so much fire to me. Like, I want to hear that, because I know I'm gonna be better. Or at least that's where I'm striving to. But it's a blessing in disguise to get those type of rejections, and those rejections I want, specifically because it just pushes me further.
I think so too. And I think that's something important to share with people trying to get in, or that are facing rejection, because it does make us stronger. It makes us tougher. It makes us more resilient.
Thick skin, for sure.
Yeah, it gives us thick skin,
In this industry, you definitely need to keep your emotions out. Do you agree? Or
yes, I definitely agree.
Have you had a scenario where you felt that emotionally it was hard, but you kind of had to push through with a real estate transaction? Or
I think looking back, I think the first couple years were really hard to keep my
emotions in place.
My emotions in place, but deep down inside, I'm a very sensitive person. But I think this career has made me have a much harder exterior. But it's something we need if you don't have it already. You need it to survive.
And not to mention having patience, or developing patience when we're getting paid, right? Like you mentioned to me outside of this that you've had escrows that are almost a year, right? So you have to have that patience. Like, yes, I have a deal in escrow, and yes, it's going to close, hopefully, but just overlooking it and keep going. Not let it bother you.
Touching on what you said about having patience for the long term, and and really sticking it out, having thick skin along the way of that journey, comes another hurdle in itself, which would be just preparing and just, I guess, the financial starvation until you close your first deal.
Exactly. And I think a lot of us, I'll speak for myself. I didn't have that support. I didn't have that backbone. So either I worked full-time in commercial real estate and I had a part-time job, or I saved money to go into this field. And that's pretty much what happened. I had to save money because I knew that these hurdles would come in the way. Like I knew it. I was working as an assistant prior to becoming a unemployed volunteer worker. So when I took on this role from this broker, he told me, he said, you better save money because you're not going to see a check for a whole year. And that kind of stuck with me. Otherwise, I don't think I would have survived. I probably would have made a pivot 6 months down the road.
Yeah. Which would happen with it, that happens in our industry. Some people join and just can't bear the financial starvation, or they're not prepared for it. So then they end up leaving the industry.
They do. But I think that's another reason why it's important to have a mentor.
Yes.
Someone who can pave the way or show you shortcuts on how to get there.
Exactly.
So, for example, for me, I've had people in real estate tell me, okay, you need to do this many calls, you need to do this, you need to do that. And once you get a lead, from there, I'm going to take it over and close it. So just having someone you can work with and collaborate, right?
Yeah, I think so too. Somebody that can just point you in the right direction.
Do you have any mentors right now in your life?
Yeah, so I do have one mentor, and I've been with him for about a year and a half. And that was the mentor that I told you that it took me about 8 years to find him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then how's that going?
It's going great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going great. My mentor has been in the industry for 30 plus years, and he's at the working towards the end of his career. So it's been really fun because we're able to bring in the old school traditional brokerage style, and then I bring the modernization to just where we are,
right,
in this time and age.
Are you the only person he's training at the moment, or has
Yes, I'm the only person that him and his partner train.
That's great. And I think that's a really good opportunity because, I would think that someone at that age, they're so close to retiring. They're close to living their best life. And for them, it's mostly just giving back as much as they can. Everything they learn, it's just giving back versus working with someone who has been in the industry for less than 20 years. They're living in a scarcity mentality. They don't want to share with you their secrets. They don't want to share with you their buyers, their clients, their book of business, because they're afraid you're going to go around them and take them, right? Yeah. So, I'm in the same position. I'm working with a commercial broker right now, and she's been in the industry for 25 plus years or so, but she's at a point where she just wants to give back. Yeah. And it's nice because you can tell when people are very genuine.
Yes.
Because you also don't want to feel like a transaction. Right. And I have felt like a transaction when I'm working under someone. They just see me as someone who brings deals and transact. And I'm not looking for that. I'm looking to build a relationship long-term. How can we work together, right?
Yeah, because we are essentially in the relationship business.
20.
Evelyn, I know you're really big on mentors and having mentorship. What would you tell someone watching that is looking for a mentor? How can they find a mentor?
Yeah, so I'm a very firm believer that having a mentor is a huge benefit to your life, especially if you have a vision or a trajectory you want to get to. I have a few mentors in all different parts of my life. For example, I had a fitness trainer, and I considered her my mentor. You need someone to physically help you get to where you want. I have a church mentor who mentors me and my fiance weekly, and we get together, we read the Bible, and she explains everything to us. Any questions we have, she's there to teach us. So I have another mentor for real estate, how to flip homes. And I have another mentor right now who specifically is helping us how to learn how to raise money, how to raise capital, how to syndicate deals, and specifically purchase multifamily. and another mentor at work, because all these mentors offer different perspectives, different experiences. And for me, I think it's really important to have people mentor you in all aspects of life, not just have one. What I would recommend for someone starting off looking for a mentor is, first, whoever you look up to, don't be afraid to go up to them, whether they're close proximity, or I know some people may look up to Gary Vee, for example, or Grant Cardone, and it's hard to get a hold of them, right? But people that are in their circle or close proximity, invite them out to lunch, send them a text, call them, and just say, hey, can I have 30 minutes of your time? They're really busy too. So what I would recommend is saying, hey, can I come to you, meet you for coffee, or can I bring you lunch, meet you at your office, pick your brain, 30 minutes, and see if you even get along with them, because not everyone is going to be a good mentor. A lot of people can say, oh, I'll teach you this, I'll teach you that. And once you're working together, your personalities don't mix. So it's going to be trial and error, just finding the right fit. It's like dating someone, right? You have to keep dating until you find the right one. And then you either outgrow them and you break up, or you grow together and you build a business and you build something beautiful. That's how I see it too. Yeah. And I saw this quote on Instagram one time that said, the goal is to build businesses with your mentors. Like, that's where you want to go. If you have a mentor and you're not doing business with them, then you haven't really gotten there. Now for you, I have a question. You're really inspiring. I feel like you have a lot to bring to the table and a lot of experiences that I don't understand yet. And I find it very, very inspiring that you're a single mom, you have 2 kids, and you're still in commercial real estate, full time, still traveling, building your brand. So what motivates you aside from being a mom?
So what motivates me is commercial real estate is, I would compare it to how an athlete loves their sport, and that's their craft, and that is their passion, right? Mm-hmm. Commercial real estate is my sport. That is what I love to do. I wake up in the morning. That's really what keeps me driven. I really love to bring people's visions to life and make their dreams a reality. And that's just, commercial real estate space is my playing field.
Absolutely. It reminds me of the book Relentless from Tim S. Grover. Such a great book, how you have to live in a Mamba mentality to keep going in business. And I live off of the Mamba mentality. Just keep playing in the court, keep playing in the field to be the best.
Yeah.
And have you ever thought about like mentoring women in your area, or has it come across your mind?
Yeah, no, I do have a few mentees. Mm-hmm. I do have mentees that are young women that are trying to break into the commercial space, whether they have kids or not. And I think it's really awesome to finally give back and give them hope. Like, you know, if they see me practicing in this commercial space and I have 2 kids and I'm still there for all my kids' events and I'm able to be successful in my career, so can they.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any quotes that resonate with you, or any quotes that you live off of daily that motivates you?
So one of my favorite quotes, or it actually was a former slogan that was on like one of my first business cards that I made myself. And the slogan was, if you ever have a crazy idea, call me. And I'm always open to anybody's call. If you have a crazy idea, give me a call. Because for so long, I was working in this space without any support. And everyone thought I was crazy, right? Mm-hmm. Especially having kids. They're like, get a regular job. Go, what are you doing? You're crazy. Are you sure? Like, and some of these land development deals can take up to 2 years to close. So I was constantly told, you look crazy. You sound crazy. So for other people that are hearing that and getting that kind of feedback from their support circle or friends, family, whoever it may be, call me, because you never know, that crazy idea can turn into a multi-million-dollar company. It can lead to so many different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's my slogan. If you have a crazy idea, call me.
If you have a crazy idea, call me. I saw some guy the other day, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, and he was wearing a shirt that said, "Where's my money?" And I think that is similar to your idea. You just want people to ask, like, what is that all about?
Yeah, and well, sometimes people just need the support, and many times if they're a new business, every business started off as an idea. Mm-hmm.
Crazy
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
And I already told you my crazy idea.
Yes, yes. And we're doing it. Yeah, we're doing it.
Awesome. For me, it's mainly just thinking about gone. Like, for example, have you heard that phrase, not today, Satan?
Yes.
So whenever I feel tired or unmotivated or just not myself, I tell myself that, not today, Satan, because I feel that God's plans are so much bigger. And whenever I feel like I'm being brought down or just tired, lazy,
Yeah.
literally, that's the enemy, I always tell myself, not today, Satan, because God has bigger plans and you're not going to drag me down today. And that's what I live off of every day, whenever. Whenever I'm lazy, not today, Satan. I don't want to make calls, not today, Satan, because you know I'm going to get a good deal and you don't want me to make money.
I love that.
Are you ready for the biggest question of the year? I think everyone's been waiting for this.
Yes. Okay, what is it?
How are you surviving in this industry? What's your secret? What's going on? What are you doing? Tell us.
So my secret is that I'm just a specialized broker. I specialize in land development and I can hold your hand along the entire process. That comes from not just my mentor's support, including like development and being a contractor, but that also comes from my experience in renewables. And I've worked on a lot of specialized projects that are within the development realm. Taken all that experience and I can help somebody essentially just walk them through the development process. And the other side of it would be just relationships. I have the right relationships, I have the right connections, where if I have a buyer come in, I'm able to take that buyer to any of my landowners, land developers, and put a deal together in this market.
Mm-hmm.
So, Evelyn, the boiling question is, how are you surviving in this market?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Thank you for asking. So, truthfully, it's just repeated business right now. A lot of my transactions are majority buyers. Last year, I was dealing with a lot of sellers, but this year, I'm dealing with the forcing buyers who are constantly buying deals. So, my main focus is prioritizing these buyers who are sitting on cash, because if I find them a good deal, they're going to buy cash, hard money, bridge loan, but literally that's my bread and butter for this cycle. I think next cycle, if rates do come down, I'm going to start focusing on getting more listings. That means more mailers, doing more ads, doing more calling on sellers, calling on previous clients. But right now it is mainly buyers, and I have 2 buyers that if I find 2 more deals in the next month, like, they're buying.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
I'm hunting right now. I've been asked, where have you been? I haven't heard of you. I'm hunting. Like, I'm literally hunting.
Literally, yeah.
So what about you? What about your mentor? What have you learned from being part of his circle?
So finding the right mentor was an obstacle in itself, right? Mm-hmm. And I would advise anyone that's looking for a mentor to really sit down with themselves and figure out where you want to go. Figure out where you want to go, write it down, and make sure those qualities, along with your values, align with the mentor you're seeking. Mm-hmm. That doesn't necessarily mean you already have them. That doesn't necessarily mean you already have candidates for mentorship. Mm-hmm. That just means you have an overall outline and goal of what type of mentorship you need and the criteria you need from that mentor. So I would suggest somebody new to sit down, write those things down, and then go to your hunt. You're back on a hunt looking for somebody that aligns with the same interest as you, the same value as you, somebody you want to be like, and grow into that role.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said, but I also feel that our viewers should know that when you do have a mentor and you feel that you're outgrowing them, it's time to find a new mentor. Don't feel obligated to stay there. Don't feel guilty because you're outgrowing them. That's a whole goal. At some point, you outgrow them, find a new mentor and a bigger mentor. Unfortunately, sometimes some mentors do require you to purchase some type of program. Yeah. But I mean, it comes with experience.
Yes. And I would say everything comes at some type of cost.
Mm-hmm. Nothing is free. And if it were free, you would not take it serious. You would not even put in time or effort to learn their skills. So I do believe investing in yourself, investing into mentorship programs, investing into mastermind classes, it's very, very beneficial. For example, I went to this mastermind and I ended up picking a buyer out of there. Wow. And he's a really good buyer. So if I didn't invest in myself, it was a few grand to go to that mastermind, but I picked up a really good client. So you never know. These opportunities can bring bigger opportunities. Like my return with that buyer once we close, you can't compare.
Yeah, and you never know where your next lead is going to come from. Like just like you mentioned, you went to this mastermind, you picked up a lead, you didn't know it was going to be a lead.
Yeah.
My mentor's one of his favorite sayings is, "Every one person you talk to turns to two."
Ooh.
And it's true. It's true. Some of my biggest clients have came from the most randomest person I know, or an acquaintance, or somebody that I may not have even knew they knew me.
Yeah.
So it can come from anybody.
And you're really good at that. You're really good at networking, talking to people, and going out of your way, literally flying just to meet people because that will open up doors.
Yeah.
And I will admit I wasn't good at that until this year, because I had someone who I'm close with tell me hey, yes, you're doing good, but you could also make more money if you're open to the idea of sitting down with people, going out to lunch, going out, meeting them. You're not just going to make money sitting in your office making calls, which it made me really realize, you know what, you're right. I'm going to start setting time aside, going on lunch dates with new people from Instagram, from Facebook. And it has led me to really good opportunities.
Yeah, like meeting us, like us meeting.
Yeah.
So I also think if somebody, touching back on the mentorship, if you can't find the right mentor and you're getting rejected and you feel discouraged and it's taking a long time to find the right mentor, for me, I couldn't find the right mentor for years. And I couldn't even find a social support group in my own community because, like I mentioned, I'm in a very archaic region. Mm-hmm. So at 20 years old, what do? I went online. Mm-hmm. And so I initially started my initial database from social media. And I don't have a huge following, but I started my entire database on Instagram. And I had to get in front of people online. My thinking at that time was if I am getting rejected here in person, the next best outlet is online. So I started almost 10 years ago reaching out to people online, commenting on their posts, engaging in their posts, and just even searching hashtags. Mm-hmm. And that is how I came across Evelyn.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I came across Evelyn. I think I was following a hashtag, and I think you came up.
Aw, thank you. I feel flattered. So what was your first impression of meeting me or seeing me online?
Well, as soon as I came across Evelyn's page, I DM'd you. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that? I DM'd you a long message. I'm like, oh my God. I think I was out in absolute shock that I've been in the industry at that time, this is my 9th year. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I haven't met someone like you. Someone like me. And it was the first time I met someone in my entire career like me in the same state. Yeah, so I messaged you, and I remember it was such a heartfelt moment. I messaged you a really warm message, oh my gosh, it's the first time coming across somebody just like me.
Yeah.
It was
it was meant to be.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
Did you fly or drive down here?
I came. I was coming down that week.
Okay.
I came down, and you were having an event.
Yeah.
And literally, that was 2 weeks later.
And we hit it off.
Well,
guess what? There's not too many of us, so. Yeah. There's a few more out there.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, message us. We're in LA. We'll get together. We'll go to Joey's in downtown LA. Well, I'm inspired by you. You have every quality a person needs to be successful in commercial real estate. But not only that, you're a mom. You're a single mom. You have 2 kids. Eventually, I want to have kids too. So being around women who have kids, it makes me learn from them. How do you balance life? I have you in my life for a reason because I'm learning a lot from you as well. Okay, she's juggling her kids, she's juggling her career. You give me hope that I can be a mom in commercial real estate.
Thank
for
you
sure.
so much.
Yeah. And now,
so much to me.
Oh, give her a tissue. Same with my mentor. That's why I picked her at my office, because she has a son and I find that very inspiring because it gives me hope that
Yeah,
you can.
you can. Yeah, you can do it.
Even when all odds are against you, you can do it. So let's talk about our commercial women's event, January 13th, 2024. So we will be having an all women's commercial real estate networking event in downtown LA. And one of our guest speakers is Sirena Sosa. She's going to be talking about what it's like to be a female entrepreneur, Latina, mother, plays every role, has every hat, and still being able to embrace femininity in a masculine environment. You know, commercial real estate is a very male dominated industry, but you're still able to be who you are as a woman. And for everyone who wants to be part of this event, feel free to email me or text me or DM me on my Instagram. My Instagram is at official Evelyn Baez.
And my Instagram is at Sirena Sosa. It's SIRENASOSA.
It was a pleasure having you here, and I wish you a safe flight back home.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. And I can't wait for our event.
Awesome.